Hello everyone, my name is Giselinta and today I will be presenting on Tuesday with Maury while focusing on identity, power, morality, and human condition. So Tuesday with Maury is a memoir by Mitch Albom which documents the conversations with his professor Maury Schwartz, who was dying from ALS. So Maury presents an alternative philosophy in this book that is centered on love, meaningful relationships, and emotional awareness. And this memoir also explores how fulfillment comes from constructing identity, redefining power, practicing compassion, and accepting mortality. So first of all, Maury explores this society's control over identity and states that identity should be something that is actively created, not passively accepted. This reflects Maury's philosophy on constructed nature of identity, which encourages independent thinking and personal values over social expectations. And in fact, society tends to define identity through achievements and material success. But in this book, Maury redefines identity by through emotional honesty and acceptance. So here we can see the society's definition of power, which usually equals to wealth, status, and achievements. In fact, Mitch also used to reflect this mindset, which believes that accomplishments leads to control as well. However, Maury rejects materialism by warning that it leads to emptiness and lack of fulfillment. He states that neither money nor power will give you the feeling that you're looking for. He says that true power comes from an emotional connection and meaningful relationships, not through wealth or control. And then we're going to move on to the morality. So Maury's moral framework centers around love, compassion, and forgiveness. And in love, Maury says that love is the only rational act, reinforcing the idea that love is necessary, it is very logical, and it is the foundation of every human's life. And then we move on to the compassion, where he says, be compassionate and take responsibility for each other. So here, Maury emphasizes caring for other people and shared responsibility, also encouraging us to support one another as well. In fact, the article from Books That Slay states that in this technological-driven world, meaningful human connections is often overlooked. So his teachings can serve as a corrective to disconnection. And then he talks about forgiveness, which tells you to forgive yourself before you die and then to forgive others. This stems from his own personal experience with his friend Norman, and it shows the consequences of pride and how important it is to reconcile with the people that we love. And through these quotes, Maury explores human condition while emphasizing the relationship between life and death. Here he says that death transforms life, meaning it is inevitable, but it is not something that should be feared. And E-Notes actually back this up by saying Maury uses death as a teaching tool, not as a tragedy. And then he also acknowledges the inevitability of suffering, and then instead he chooses to find meaning by finding time to say goodbye to his loved ones, and such as appreciating the final moments with his family. So this emphasizes the fact that there's gratitude even in hardship, and that us humans are capable of emotional resilience. And then on the third, in contrast to his father's sudden passing, Maury decided to face his death by being surrounded by his loved ones and then leaving no goodbye unsaid. Lastly, he also says that death applies to everyone, regardless of wealth, status, and success. This is often stated by saying, death is the greatest equalizer. And it creates empathy, shared human experience, and understanding towards one another as well. So in conclusion, Mori's philosophy explores modern society and offers a new way of living. So the final message that this book wants to leave is that life is not measured by achievements, but through love, connection, and authenticity. This is it for my presentation. Thank you so much for watching.